Come see Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Has started. Yeah, right. Because if they're in
Shameless
Texas,
advertising.
if they're in Texas, they're going to come out here to see Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Hi, video people.
All right, hi, Video Land. Right now, this may be the only way to listen to or watch our podcast for a while. We'll see how that plays out.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
And only watch our YouTube station, well, at least for now. Okay.
And message us on Facebook.
Yes, and especially.
Yes, Hondo.
Dude, she called you out.
Man.
All right, you ready?
We didn't even call him out at all last week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, actually we did.
You did?
Yeah, there was like
When?
2 or 3 times when I was in the editing process we called them out.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah, we've been doing it generally 2 times an episode, a little more often.
Well, after all, he did
Okay.
abandon us.
Are we done coughing our head off?
Yes.
I'll probably cough some during
Are
the
we
show.
good?
I can't avoid it with
I
the cold,
understand.
but I'll try my best.
I'm trying the best I can too. But I'm not going.
Well, this is the part that sucks about my cough. I'll be sitting here feeling totally fine,
By the
and
way,
then it just explodes. So
he's just
My
talking
mic
into-
isn't on.
No guard.
okay.
Clearing my throat.
Okay, let's go.
Gary, I'm impressed. He's right. You don't have some smart aleck comment to go with all that.
He does.
Actually, it's more scary when he's not talking than when he is. I'm just letting you all know right now.
It is.
It means he's thinking of a comeback.
Okay,
All right,
stop.
stop. Here we go. Ready? Hey, folks! Welcome to this episode of the GalaxyCast. We have a full studio tonight. Yes, we are back to full studio status. I have with me Eric the Artist.
And I have a sick voice.
I have with me Austin and Umpty.
Zazu.
I have with me Tara the Inquisitor.
Hello.
And I have with me Gary the Stud.
That's me.
And I'm your host, Bob Kirschman. It's good to have you all here tonight. We have some things to discuss with you. We're going to discuss several topics, and quite honestly, they're not all Star Wars, but that's okay. We like our non-Star Wars topics too. We're going to talk about Star Wars 8's trailer. Is there a possibility it won't be happening at Celebration? We're going to talk about the announcement that there may be another Indiana Jones movie coming. We're going to talk about the Iron Man... I'm jumping again. We're going to talk about the Iron Fist trailer that was recently released, and we're going to talk about the Deadpool 2 trailer in a trailer montage.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start off with our Star Wars news, because we might as well go straight up Star Wars while we've got time. Not a lot of big news coming out, other than the fact that there's a whole bunch of stuff going on for Celebration, and quite honestly, I'm just depressed that I'm not going to Celebration, so I'm going to stay away from Celebration discussion, at least until we get to Celebration itself.
We should call ourselves the Not at Celebration podcast.
We should for right now, yes.
Yeah, well, we went twice, so...
I'm calling it our own little boycott of Celebration. Sadly, it's just I can't afford to go to Celebration, but I'll
They
call
need
it a
to
boycott.
go to New York.
Yes. And I received official word this week I will not be appearing at Star Wars Celebration.
No chalk art.
But you will be able to buy some of my shirt designs in the store, so watch for those.
Yeah, and as soon as we know which shirts those are, we will let you know what shirts Eric's going to be designing, and you should go scarf those up as quick as you can. So, we wanted to talk about the possibility, and it's being put out there, that there may be a possibility that there will not be a trailer for Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, at Celebration 8. 8, wait, is it 8? Celebration 8? That sounds about right?
I think it is.
I think it's Celebration 8. So,
No, I think it's beyond 8.
So, what do you guys think? Is that even like a remote possibility that they're going to go up to a Celebration without any sort of trailer, new footage of anything?
No.
No.
I just can't. Something in me says that's just not possible.
That's what Celebration is about. And they're going to have something to show.
Especially with a new movie coming out after just having had Rogue One come out, after the rumors of another TV show that they pretty much have confirmed are going to happen. By the way, we did find out after our last episode, Star Wars Rebels has been picked up for another season, just to let everybody know.
So you get another year
You
of
get
the
another
podcast.
year of this podcast at least. Well, this podcast ain't going nowhere depending on whether Rebels is there or not. That's the cool thing about our podcast. But the reality is that there's got to be something to draw people in.
Yeah.
And it can't be the death of Carrie Fisher. I'm sorry.
No, that's
That
morbid.
can't be. That's morbid. And if that's the reality of where they go, that's just wrong.
I'm foreseeing that they may have explained this. Like, they were telling people that there would be a trailer. The seats all got full. They're like, well, we don't want the thing to be full, so let's try to cut back. No trailer.
No, I don't think that's it at all. I think Eric's more hitting the spot of it's more fun if they say there's not, and then come out and go, ha, there it is.
It's the big tease. It's, there's not going to be. Well, everyone's sitting there going, yeah, there will. And then, no, we mean it. There won't be this time. And everyone goes, yeah, there will. And they get to the show, and they get through the whole big announcement, and they're like, we really are not going to show you anything. And everyone in the audience is like, yeah, you will. And then the end comes, and they go, oh, by the way, we got one thing to show you. And the audience goes, we knew it, but we love it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
It's an episode of Ewoks.
That would be good.
Oh, my Lord. I think I just threw up in my mouth a little bit just now, Gary. Thank you. Throwing up in my mouth, my favorite thing to do. No, I hope not.
Dad, was it really?
You're not going to be there, so why you care?
What's that?
You're not going to be there.
Actually, you know what? I want that to happen. Actually, I think we should
out.
hack their servers and make that happen. So they go
just
to bring up The
point out.
Last Jedi, and it says episode of Ewoks, and everybody's like, what?
Let me just point out, you watched that show voluntarily as a kid and liked it.
As a child, yes.
But
As an adult, it sucks.
I don't care. You still watched it.
I also watched the holiday special as a child, voluntarily. I also watched all the Ewok specials
You
as
also
a
watched
child,
Super Friends.
voluntarily. This is true. When Super Friends is my comparison, not a big comparison. Okay.
I was going to say Super Friends was 100 times better than Ewoks.
Yeah, exactly.
And Star Wars droids.
So when
You want to go way back, at some point in our childhoods, we all crapped our pants. Don't want to do that these days either. Things change.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. When I get older, I might want to. again.
Eventually, that comes back around.
And
we do it.
I'm actually looking forward to that when I'm in my 70s.
Yeah.
And when that happens, I'll watch
We
more
do not
Ewoks.
need
All
to
three of
talk
us will be
about
calling on
underwear.
Austin for that one too. Austin, your turn.
Both of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Both of you, your turn.
It's the job you
Good night,
get.
everybody.
Who's
I'll be in
taking
Hollywood.
Who's taking care of Gary this time?
It's your turn to take care of your old man.
Oh.
Okay, so obviously, I don't think any of us believe that there's not going to be a trailer.
There is no
The second part of me that tells me that there's got to be a trailer is this week Disney got together, the
Yes.
corporate executives, and met, and supposedly they saw a good 10 minutes of The Last Jedi.
Footage has been shown.
Footage has been shown. So if there's that much footage that's already edited out and shown, then
with special effects.
with special
probably.
effects and everything, I'm sure in place. Come on, there's no way they could not be showing some sort of trailer to people at Celebration. You said that there was a rumor out that they've already got Luke's first words. What are his first words in the movie,
apparently,
spoiler. By
I
the way.
haven't read the article on it. I only know a little bit, but the article was teasing that Rey is not a Skywalker lineage because apparently Luke doesn't recognize her. His first words are to ask, "Who are you?" And the crowd, the public at large, the internet conspiracy theorists lead to believe that means one of two things: either A, he's senile. Are we going to get to see a senile Jedi? Interesting. No, that's not going to happen. Or B, that she's not a Skywalker and he doesn't know who she is from Adam, and that therefore means that's not a continuation of Skywalker.
Looked at a person in
And
years.
that's my other counter argument here is somebody dropped her off on that planet. He hasn't seen her for how many years? I mean, I look at my own children and I say, if I had known them when they were 2 or 3 and then not seen them till they were 20, even 21, I'm not sure I'd recognize my kids if that were the case. I think people are reading way too much into that. They are reading
But
way
suppose
too
they're
much.
correct. It completely goes away with the idea that Gary's correct. That she is not a Skywalker, but a Kenobi.
I've been saying that right along.
I know you have.
So it
I know.
basically puts Dave Filoni in his place.
I still think it's going to tie back into a Mara Jade thing. I think Mara's going to have dropped her off. She's going to be Luke's daughter, and it's all, look at what we got over here. Ha-ha.
No.
We brought the Thrawn series back.
No, Mara Jade could still drop her off and not be in relation to her at all.
It could be, yes, but I still think somehow.
If it's Mara Jade.
If it is, correct. So,
And no offense.
No.
But
Snoke-
how?
Snoke
So if
dropped her off
if
on
she's
the
a Kenobi, who's her father?
Snoke.
You mean who's her mother?
well, her
No.
father would be Ben.
You're thinking Obi-Wan, who
Would be
died.
would be the grandfather.
I was gonna say he'd have to be the grandfather because he died 30 years ago, and
Yeah.
she's not 30 years
So
old.
then, who had her then?
So was there a Kenobi child we didn't know about who then had another kid that?
Well,
this is
Gary's
this
has
one?
been arguing all along that Satine had a child somewhere.
And I
right?
think Bo Katan's the one taking care of the kid.
You know what? Rey's related to Snoke. That's all we're doing.
Or Jedi Killer Dillian.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we might just come back to Jedi
And
Killer Dillian because
Shatterpoints.
that's.
I was going to introduce
Shatterpoints.
myself as Shatterpoint Dillian at the start of the show today, but I decided not to.
Actually, it would sound great with your voice right now too. Hi, I'm Shattered.
Luke, I am Shatterpoint Dillian.
Nah.
Okay.
Luke, I know your Shatterpoint.
Oh. And I'm done.
That's better than Luke. I've seen your Dillian.
Oh.
Luke, I hate your father.
Okay, let's move on to the next
What?
subject very quickly.
Luke, do you want to buy some death sticks?
Okay.
Sure.
So our next topic. It has come out recently. This is actually on the Hollywood Reporter, amongst many other sites out there now. It's pretty much been confirmed, as my understanding, that Harrison Ford, Steven Spielberg have all agreed to a 5th Indiana Jones movie. They're even saying that it's going to come out in the summer of 2019.
July 19th.
July of 19th.
They've got the opening date,
July of
people.
2019.
So you know exactly
Can we do that for
2
my
years
birthday?
from now when you are going to be massively disappointed.
Yeah, that's why I said no.
Well, this is where I am confused. So if you go back to the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull moment, God forbid, and you're trying, okay, and this is where I have a huge problem with the Indiana Jones series. It's getting very disjointed in itself. The first 3 movies all connected.
Very
there's
wonderfully.
boom, 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 boom. They connected very well. When you throw Crystal Skull in, and we've watched them in order, it doesn't make any sense. It does not fit into the Indiana Jones lore. It doesn't feel like Indiana Jones. It doesn't have that Indiana Jones look to it. And it felt like a desperate attempt to try to wrap a series up.
And
I don't think they wrapped it up.
Nope.
So my concern now is, in an attempt to actually wrap it up, are they going to screw it up more? And, my son brought up a valid point. Are they going to finally pass off the torch to somebody else?
he's
You know
getting
who
he's
it would
real
be good
old.
to?
He's not going to be able to do it anymore. He
gonna be-
needs to get handing it off to somebody else.
It's going to be Chris Pratt.
No, whoever it was, the kid that followed him throughout the whole entire Crystal Skull, it would be good to be.
Shia LaBeouf has gone so crazy.
I don't think
they'll give it to him.
No.
Do it.
I here's what I think really did initially happen. I think Disney had planned on giving Shia LaBeouf.
Okay, look at the last shot of Indiana Jones. He almost puts the hat
Right,
on, and
that's what I'm
Harrison
saying.
Ford takes it from him. But they were very much implying, here's
Right.
where we're going to continue the franchise.
And I wonder if Disney had planned, and Shia himself personally, I don't even know how to explain it, kind of went off the deep end.
I don't even know that.
And personally, he's been having problems, and I don't think Disney can continue on with him, to be honest with you. There's too many risks involved in taking on Shia LaBeouf. So I'm wondering if this one, they're going to have to reset again, and this time find somebody who's a little more sane.
Have you seen that whole
And hand off
the
that up.
musical on stage of Shia LaBeouf?
No.
No.
The video. We'll have to watch. We'll watch that during the break. It is absolutely fantastic.
The video?
The song, the video, everything. It's like 5 minutes long. It's this little mini story about Shia LaBeouf is chasing you through the woods, and there's this announcer. And it's great.
I remember
It's
this.
great, and we'll watch it.
I
I
remember
have not
this.
So-
watched that. Okay.
Gary, do you think this is a good idea? Having another Indiana Jones film? I mean, is Disney just trying to cash cow this thing at this point, or do you think this is actually a good idea?
They should stop.
They're cash cowing it like they are with Star Wars.
I almost
After
feel like that.
the
yeah.
last arc and him not needing to be in the movie, I think they killed.
Well, here's 2 things about this. One, you got one. Harrison Ford's getting old.
Yeah.
He was old looking in The Force Awakens. He was old looking in
He's
Crystal
showing-
Skull.
he's showing his age.
He did okay in Crystal Skull. I was impressed, but even then, I'm like, he's about it. That's it. This is
He's-
kind of the limit.
he's-
It's 10 years later.
Yeah.
So we got that. But B, the flip side is you have Spielberg, who I'll guarantee you is very disappointed in how that movie was received. And just
the
out of
Crystal
his
Skull, you mean? Yeah.
out of his own ego, I'm sure he's looking at it going, can we go back to less CGI? Can I capture it one more time? Can I give it a better set? I wonder if he's coming back to it for his redemption.
I
think
And
so.
that gives me some hope that he might try and do it
See,
better.
the cameras just in general, I think, ruined that movie because I don't know what they did with the cameras, but it looked like
Too much of the movie was CGI.
It was too obviously CGI'd. It's I
Yeah.
think part of the problem.
The problem I had with it was too long between Last Crusade
And this one.
and this one.
Yeah.
yeah.
They should have made something in between so they could spawn it off onto someone else.
Yeah.
And they should have used short round.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have Short Round back.
Yeah.
I agree. I didn't necessarily
Played by Donnie Yen.
I didn't necessarily like the idea of bringing Marion back in either. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not
Yeah.
sure that was a good tie-in either. Not that she's a bad person or anything. It just wasn't a good tie-in to bring her
It
back
felt
in.
forced. It felt.
Yeah.
Let's shoehorn in all the old
Yep.
stars.
Yeah, let's try to do something to do an old throwback. So let's bring Marion back. I just didn't feel right.
We were talking with the professor who got like fired or something. We had that weird scene where he was when he was Indy, not like the professor.
Yeah.
Those scenes when he was professor and that the one older guy he was talking about Dad. And
Now that's all a rambling, and I'm gonna have
I'm
to edit that all out.
sorry.
Okay, just letting you know. Okay, so our next topic, we're going to talk about the trailer for Iron Fist, which is set to be on Netflix. Episodes come out on March 17th,
March 17th.
Next week.
which is next week. It's hard to believe as
And-
we're recording the
All right,
podcast. So by the time
let
this
me
comes
just
out,
say,
it'll be
let's
out.
base this off the trailer, not what we think the show's gonna actually
Well,
be.
the problem is the first 6 episodes, half the season, have been seen and are being reviewed right
Correct.
now by people who've seen it. And the word
It's
is not good.
It's
but
not
like
good.
the trailer looks good.
I'm not.
I
well,
don't even think the
but-
trailer looked
I
great.
got some arguments for you against
I
the
know
trailer.
it wasn't bad. You can't say it wasn't bad.
I'm gonna hold my I'm gonna hold what I believe my opinions until I watch it.
Okay.
Well, then you're done with this because this whole bit is going to be about speculation.
And
Well, I
I
mean, yeah.
understand that, and that's where sometimes speculation kind of destroys things. You need to.
I know enough of Iron Fist, and that is not Iron Fist.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
my concern.
it's Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they-
It's a giddier Green Arrow. I get that.
Well, but here's the problem. Iron Fist's story has absolutely nothing to do with him being lost as a kid,
Oh no.
being a sole survivor of a family. None of that has anything to do with Iron Fist.
I'm not familiar with the Marvel
I'm pretty
origins, so I don't want to say that for sure.
Iron Fist and Power Man, I'm pretty familiar with. They nailed Power Man. They got it pretty damn good.
No, they did.
Iron Fist, nope.
They aren't getting you right.
They're right about him ending up with the Shaolin monks, but he only does that after he receives his power.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to study with them after he receives his power during a radioactive explosion, whatever it is, and he ends up getting this weird power. As a teenager, he doesn't know what to do with it, so his parents send him off to this temple to go train.
And then while
he's training, he learns how to utilize his power to its best degree, and also finds
I
out he has
don't-
more power than he initially thought. It's not just the fists; it's the power to actually come out of his body and have third body experiences.
like
You don't see any of that here.
like Doctor Strange almost.
Almost like Doctor Strange, yeah.
I don't like the effect they're using for his fist. It looks too much like he's charging his fist.
It looks like an Iron Man fist. I hate to say that, you know what I mean? Like it's got that.
it
like,
looks more like an extremist.
and the rumor is the first 6 episodes they've seen, you don't even see his powers being used yet. 6 of 12, correct? Am I understanding? That's about half the season.
I think the season is 12 episodes.
Really, you're gonna go half a season without even showing
Yeah.
power or Iron Man's
What
fists?
I'm
like,
hearing,
it's- ugh.
what I'm
Iron
hearing
Fist.
is that and I got some of this from the trailer. If you watch that trailer, the fight scenes, they're in a trailer. They should be only showing like really cool, amazing snippets. And I was looking at those, going, they don't look great. They didn't look
Right.
choreographed
No.
really
They're not
well.
polished.
Daredevil had such great fighting, and
Yep.
this, even in a brief trailer, didn't look good. How's it going to come off in big scenes when it has to be like a minute and a half of fighting?
Right.
And then I hear that it's you don't get this from the trailer because the trailer is edited so that you don't really get too much sense of story or pacing. That the first 6 episodes are so choppy.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to follow people's motivations. It's hard to follow who is doing what. It sometimes jumps scenes really strangely. They said it just is disjointed. That's what makes me more worried. If the overall thing is just disjointed, then I don't care what you're doing. If it doesn't tell a good cohesive story. the way I heard it described was, you watch Daredevil, you watch Jessica Jones, you watch Luke Cage. They have a really high point in the beginning. Somewhere around episode 8, 9, and 10, they may lag a little because they're padding out the season.
Right.
But then it kicks back in by the end.
The last 2 or 3 are pretty good. Yeah.
They say that the first episode and the second episode and the third episode all feel like episodes 8, 9, 10. They feel that lag disjointed right from the get-go and makes people very nervous. That's what I've been hearing from reviews.
And this is only coming out in a week from this podcast right now.
Yes.
And here's the other thing that makes me a little bit nervous. And Gary, maybe you could give some insight into this one too. Just thinking about it. If Iron Fist comes out and it bombs, Jessica Jones did great. Daredevil did great.
Power Man did great.
I'm pretty much
I heard
under the
very
understanding that
positive.
Luke Cage would have had a pretty good
Apparently,
review.
its ratings were better than Daredevil.
Really?
I think
Luke
that's
Cage
what I
was?
heard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Luke Cage was
And then
good.
you
I
come out
liked
with an Iron Fist that probably is going to fall way short. Do you think this is the death of the Defender series? Like, I mean,
No, they're already filming
Defenders are going to happen.
They're already filming it.
But my question is, by having Iron Fist the way he is this going to be like a one and done with Defenders? Is Marvel written Defenders off already before they even? I get the impression.
I think it's too early to call
You think it's
that.
too early to call that?
Yeah.
I mean,
when you get an ensemble pieces, think about it. You did Iron Man, it did really good. You did Captain America, people liked it. You did Thor, people were like, it was okay, but it got, it wasn't what they expected. They wanted better. The whole,
And then Thor came out in
and
Avengers,
then you put him back into
then
Avengers,
it
and Avengers was
amazing.
the best of the series.
Yeah.
Putting the ensemble back together. The ensemble lets them balance. So I think he has that going for him, where even if if Iron Fist by himself doesn't do great, once he gets into the Defenders, he's got that group dynamic, which is going to help a lot.
Now, those aren't all the Defenders. There's others that are added in, right? Like,
Well, Doctor Strange was originally a Defender.
Yeah.
and Spider-Man, I thought, in the comics.
Spider-Man was a Defender
Once
at
in a
one
while,
point in
yeah.
time.
Wasn't Hawkeye part of that too?
No.
No, I don't think
No.
Hawkeye was a Defender. No.
I'm pretty sure Tigra was a Defender.
Yes, Tiger was.
I'm pretty sure at one point in time.
It all depends on what version of the Defenders
Right,
you
and that's
watch.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's what I mean. I'm
that's
trying
the
to.
problem with the comic book is there's so many different
So if they're going to
different
go,
versions.
if they're going to go with their Marvel universe that they got right now, it's going to be Daredevil, Iron Fist, Power Man, Jessica Jones.
So,
And that's
I
all.
hope they do like a Tiger series eventually at some point and bring her in.
Because at one point in time, even Moon Knight was part of the Defenders.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think he was a Defender, yes.
I'm trying to think of
And everyone is clamoring
Cloak
for
and Dagger
were
were in Defenders.
Cloak
at
and
one point in
Dagger
time.
are getting their
Yeah.
own series.
Are
that,
they
that
really?
has been announced.
Really?
Oh, really?
They're
Seriously?
going to be doing a Cloak and Dagger series, and I think that is
That would
excellent.
be cool.
Yes.
I used to love.
On the
Cloak
flip
and
side
Dagger.
of that, rumors are Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not doing well. And apparently
I can believe
ABC has
that.
been discussing canning it either
well, they've
next
got
season or the
they've
season
got Inhumans
after.
coming out, so they'll
That's
refocus.
the thing, and I'm wondering if they're going to can Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in favor of the Inhumans TV show, which they've been discussing. And it may... I'm wondering if one's just going to lead right into the other, and they'll just can
And this
Agents of
is
S.H.I.E.L.D.
this is what it all comes down to. Marvel has so many pokers in the fire, multiple TV shows, multiple movie properties. They're trying to juggle it all. They're trying to make all the characters come off cool. You're gonna have some misfires. It's just gonna have. They can't have 100%. And if this Iron Fist ends up being a misfire, it does not hurt their overall brand.
I don't think so
they
at all.
It's a pothole.
Now to go
And
back to
I
your
think-
question you asked me about.
Yes. Thank you, because I did ask you a question.
sorry.
Defenders are still going to be going, and,
Yeah.
I can see them dropping Iron Fist
Yeah.
and still just keep them in the Defenders.
Okay.
Oh, so you mean they won't do like everyone
Like a
else got a
second
second
Iron-
season,
right.
but they won't give one to him?
Right. I
Well,
could see
If
that
it
happen.
continues down this path.
They might.
I
give
could buy
him a
that.
second
That-
But
season.
I'll give it my opinion after I see the series. That's all.
Yeah.
See, I feel like they might give him a second season just to put him back on the right track.
I don't
maybe,
think they...
to maybe readjust the
No,
script.
I think if he bombs...
That's the problem with the fans. The fans don't like something, they're not going to do it again.
They're not going to give it a
That's
second
true.
chance.
And here, think of it from...
That's true.
And I just think of it from a corporate point of view. This is Disney. I mean, is there their company? If they're not going to make money off of Iron Fist, why would you retreat him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If they're not going to make money off of it, brush your hands off of it and walk away.
they should have done that
kinda
with
like-
Hulk a long time
Kind
ago.
of like Fox with
No.
Fantastic Four. Time to walk away, people. You know, just kind of like...
I watched that.
Are they
finally.
coming out
Did
with
you? What did you think?
Just last weekend, I watched the reboot Fantastic
I'm
Four.
so sorry.
Here's all I have to say about it,
Oh,
and I
boy.
have the hindsight of now knowing how bad it would be, and
Right.
a year and a half later.
Right.
Yeah.
I see what they were trying to do. I get it. I get the approach they were trying to take with it. And there were moments I actually thought were okay. I liked kind of the treatment of the Thing. I liked kind of the treatment of Mr. Fantastic. I actually thought I would hate him because I didn't think that actor would work, but he was actually one of my favorites of the 4 actors in terms of just performance. Favorite as in, how good you could like that movie.
Right.
But the movie was, and I know there were major edits. I hear the director's cut helps it.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. It's kind of like Batman versus Superman. They say the director's cut helps it. I hear the director's cut of Fantastic Four adds in some stuff. Like there's a shot of the Thing being dropped out of an airplane in the trailer that never happens in the movie. Yeah. There's apparently about 10 or 15 minutes worth of footage, which really fleshes out some things you needed. That being said, and even trying to see what they were going for, no, it was not a good movie.
Yeah. I just
give it to Marvel. Give it to Marvel.
Give it back to Marvel. Let them do their thing.
Please do.
Okay. So our last thing we're going to talk about, and this one's going to be more of a humor thing than anything else. We watched, and this is supposedly at the beginning of the Deadpool 2.
Should we
No, we'll keep going.
I'm just thinking we should pause.
That's okay.
You can edit this out, but I was just saying because this is something I think he'd want to talk about.
Well, it's okay. He's cut out before in other ones, and he'll jump back in when he can.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So the Deadpool 2 trailer, the first teaser trailer, came up
before Logan.
It happened just before the Logan movie.
Was it called No Good Deed?
It's referred to as the No Good Deed trailer. First off, hysterical trailer. I mean, there's so many throwbacks in this trailer.
So many Easter eggs.
There's so many Easter eggs. There's so much stuff being thrown into this trailer. It's kind of hysterical, actually. And we were paying attention.
I've worked too hard in this life to let someone.
Oh, you want to end up dead?
Oh, no, please don't hurt
me. Are you fucking kidding me? No.
Not on my watch, motherfucker. I'm not gonna give you anything.
You pull the trigger. You feeling upset? No,
you're hurting me. You're hurting me.
You like that?
You like taking on an older man, do you? No, please, not him. No, somebody help! Help me! God, where is anybody? Is there nobody in this fucking world to help me, for God's sake?
People like you always have fucking money. Where's the fucking wallet?
Mr. Cat,
Give me your fucking wallet. Where's the fucking wallet? Right now, where is it?
That's a secret layered. No? Okay. No, just a one-way call. Thank you.
Help! There's gotta be somebody hearing me! Can you hear me? Help!
Okay.
Wow, nice suit.
Zip it, Stanley!
Yeah, they tell us the amazing job. Firefly is definitely.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's not good. No.
A lot of cool things going on.
Oh, you're not going to walk that one off. Oh, that's so gross.
Now, the first time I watched it,
I'm so
it
sorry.
didn't click for me. I'll admit it.
I got spent way too long in the phone booth.
Waiting for like the big.
If I'm being honest with myself, I probably should have just called 911.
Great.
Which is not what I expected.
Well, that is now.
I think you're both
missing a real point here.
So,
Yeah.
I actually
I like the end where
Fuck is a phone booth doing on a street corner?
Better eat that
He
before.
was disappearing in
The fact that
98.
he mentions that.
I suppose I could have just used my cell. Ooh,
Well, phone booths aren't.
Sure, I guess, yeah, I see.
You really know.
You can eat this?
Your generation.
What is it?
Our generation.
Just rest.
I know you all know what a phone booth is.
And actually, I made a call. It was to the costumer. His name is Laird. He usually helps me put the suit on.
Even in your small town.
Yeah,
the other guys
be
do.
outside the grocery stores and stuff.
He probably wouldn't be dead if it was
There were phone
Logan.
booths all over the mall. Like
He got to change into.
pretty close to every entrance.
There was a fucking tank top
And I
and a pair of
remember in
jeans.
the original Superman,
Yeah.
when it came out,
Walked in,
joke
get my
was
tank top
they had
on,
started
bit of
introducing
perspiration, have a nice little
in New York City.
prawn fighting spree, yeah. Hit the hugger cool with that.
Yep, the
around the
overcover.
phone.
Yep, the
and there's a
overhang.
scene in Superman where he runs to change and he stops and looks at one of those and just keeps running.
Yeah.
And that was new at the time. Those kind of phones.
Modernized phone
And now
booths.
there's nothing. So.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? If you're like us and you went and saw Logan opening weekend, then you saw a teaser trailer for Deadpool 2, and then it came out officially with some added little bonus stuff that wasn't in the trailer that we saw before the movie.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds, very much. So, we got super excited. We watched it. We scrubbed through the whole thing and found a bunch of Easter eggs, and we're going to tell you all of the things that we found. The basic gist, if you haven't seen the trailer,
Yeah, it was nice.
is
It was a
that,
nice trailer.
of course,
The references are nice.
Deadpool
Something
is not in costume. He sees someone in trouble, and he decides that he's going to run into a phone booth fresh with the music from Superman from 1978, and he's going to change into his costume so that he can save this person, and it takes a little too long, and he doesn't quite save them at all.
And opening up the scene to that is when he runs to the phone booth, you can see now, or tonight is Logan play on the theater that is probably not open.
Right.
And a little something we haven't really seen anybody talk about is all the tag with Ray on it. And we were like, what is this? This is a Ryan Reynolds, first three letters of his name, but there's a crown
Patrick Stewart.
on top of one of the Rays. And in the Marvel Universe, there is a character called Prince Ray.
And we don't know if there's any correlation or if it just happened to have a crown there.
Or, is that going to be some weird thing that they're going to be referencing?
Our best guess is that it's actually referencing Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of weird stuff showing up in graffiti, so it's possible that they're making some nod to some random Marvel character.
Yeah, well, another graffiti thing was Hope was everywhere. And
This is one that would
people
make
are saying
sense.
it's Professor Xavier's
I don't know how
hope,
they're gonna
like wishing for hope. A couple people have said that, but
People and we initially thought like Deadpool hopes he can be in Wolverine, or hopes that Wolverine will be in Deadpool.
That's another one.
That was another thing, but our best guess is that it's concerning Hope Summers.
Yeah.
Hope Summers is the mutant messiah. She basically, when she was a baby, she was supposed to be the person who could make it, could basically save all of humankind and mutant kind. And there's actually a connection with her to Cable. Cable actually named her Hope Summers after his wife, whose name was Hope, and he actually saved her life. So it's possible that connection's there.
And we couldn't really confirm who owned the rights to her.
Yeah.
We couldn't find anything officially that said that.
But the connection makes sense considering we are pretty positive that Cable is going to be in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Especially with the little Easter egg on the telephone booth saying Nathan Summers coming soon.
With the U, of course, with the U.
Because it's Deadpool and it's hilarious. Nathan Summers, of course, being Cable. Now, our assumption is that there's going to be an announcement for an actor soon.
Right.
Especially after they got rid of Tim Miller because his choices for actor wasn't very acceptable. We do have a rumor right now that it's going to be David Harbour who's going to be playing Nathan Summers or Cable. A much better choice for sure. And he played Jim Hopper in Stranger Things, so we already love him as an actor, already love things that he's done.
Trying to picture him as Cable.
He might just have to beef up a little bit, but he's already kind of a big dude, so I think that it's doable.
It could be.
And he's a good actor, so.
Yeah. And then after he gets changed, pops out of the photo booth, we stop seeing his ass or phone booth. That shows a shot of Firefly posters, and people are assuming one thing, but there's one thing that I haven't heard yet.
Two things.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Two things.
Well,
one is Morena Baccarin, right, who was in Firefly and happened to have also been in Deadpool and being like, hey, you're cool.
And then another possible reference is Fireflies in the Garden, which Ryan Reynolds was in, which came out in 2008. But our assumption is
there's one other thing. Some people are guessing that Nathan Fillion might have something to do with Deadpool as well. But most likely that's not going to be the case, considering that he's going to be Wonder Man. That's a Marvel property and not a Fox property.
And Marvel has a very specific rule on you play one character, you can only play that character in that universe, and Fox and Marvel still haven't quite gotten along yet.
Yeah, so it wouldn't make sense for him to be that connection. But the other connection is
Firefly is trying to get rebooted by Fox.
Fox wants to make it again, and it's very possible that they just said, hey, we're working on this in a Deadpool trailer.
Right.
And that's our theory, is that they're like, you know what, there's a good chance that people who are fans of Firefly are also fans of Deadpool, and we're just going to poke this in there to go, just so you know, we're working on it.
Little thing for you. Something that didn't show up in at least the showing of Logan that we saw is Stan Lee made a cameo in the Deadpool trailer, commenting on his suit, and Ryan Reynolds tells him to shut up.
It's interesting to have Stan Lee, instead of doing a cameo in a movie, doing a cameo in a trailer. That's actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
And of course, Deadpool saying, shut up, Stan. It's pretty perfect. Then while he continues running, we see another poster for Logan, and then we see something that says in graffiti, Augie was here. Now, it's hard to say.
I got confused and thought they were talking about Foggy.
Yeah, but it's hard to say what it is. But we looked up to see if there is a Marvel character named Augie.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna have to read this because there's a character named Ogmunder Dragelvad Vinsuvius the 17th, also known as Augie. And this is just some crazy orc-looking dude,
right?
Who at one point had to have a drinking contest with Thor, and he lost.
Are they just trying to find all the characters that
I don't know
nobody knows about? Because he's cheap.
Yeah, I wonder if they're just taking the characters that that no one owns right now, and they're just like, hey, here's this guy, here's that guy. We of course don't know if that's true. There also is Augie and the Cockroaches, which is a strange, obscure animated show that I don't think it has anything to do with it.
Unless it's just reference to the random book that he reads.
Maybe.
Children's book kind of thing.
Maybe.
And then the last piece of graffiti that we saw was
upside down.
Upside down. We had to flip it around, and it says "Victim of the Brain." And if I may take a second to reach, right? "Victim of the Brain" is a film that came out in '88 that has loosely based on the mind's eye, which has a lot to do with the psyche and yourself, and it maybe is just a reference to maybe he's getting voices now.
I think that
is a hell of a jump.
Yeah, but I think that if it means anything, that's the best guess. Is that if you've read the Deadpool comics, he does end up having voices in his head, and it's very possible that we might be seeing the voices in his head showing up in Deadpool too. It's possible. But that's the only thing that we could possibly think of for that.
That was a really hard jump to make.
Right. And then we see a trash can that says Alley Cats on it.
Right.
It's hard to say what this is because
make a far jump.
There's a punk band called Alley Cats, but that doesn't make any sense. So it might just be there, but it's pretty prominent. You can really read it.
Right.
So if you guys know anything about the Alley Cats graffiti that's on the lid of that trash can, if you have any insight on that, we would love to know.
Right.
Because we couldn't find a thing.
Yeah, and people were making jumps about the Cherry Garcia thing too, referencing it to a scene that
the Nightcrawler
brain freeze
situation.
Seems like a
You think they're just
stretch, but I also stretched with that movie from '88.
Maybe Ben and Jerry are going to make a cameo, or maybe Deadpool will get his own ice cream. That would be awesome.
Cherry Garcia would be the perfect one for him. And then it teases us by saying Deadpool coming not soon enough. So that is true. It's coming out. Sticking with us? Well, it's scheduled for what? March 2nd, 2018. That's when it's scheduled, or at least expected to come out. So saying not soon enough, they are not wrong.
Who knows if they're trolling us for anything?
It's very possible.
Deadpool's possible. That marketing team is a genius.
Yes. And then, of course, it ends with something that's hard to make a connection to.
Right. This feels like a troll to me.
It's got to be a troll. You get just a long scroll of tiny words.
It's a book report.
Yeah, it's basically a book report explaining the story of the old man and the sea in the way that Deadpool would explain it. Having weird references about Joe DiMaggio having sex with Marilyn Monroe,
And weird shark dicks.
and the Fresh Prince reference, and all kinds of strange stuff in there, and all of it culminating with some final thesis about how all of this stuff happened with a man and a fish, and now there's red lobsters everywhere.
Okay, so that's what we have.
Pretty sure that although this is an Easter egg in some manner, I can't make any correlation.
I think they just threw something up there real fast and make everybody go, "What was that?" And then it's just like, what is this?
Pretty sure.
We'd love to hear what you have to say about that and more. Head on over to our website when it's working at GalaxyCast.com.
Which will right now take you to our Facebook page.
Which will take us to our Facebook page. So hopefully soon you'll be able to do that and let us know what you think about what we just talked about. We'll be back in just a little bit after we watch the latest episode of Star Wars Rebels.
I want to note that you didn't say Clone
Star
Wars
Wars
this time.
Rebels.
Hey, do me a favor.
I've gotten good about it.
You can post to our Facebook page, right?
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to pause our recording. We'll be back a little bit of video. People.
Ready?
Hi, video. We're back. Yeah, Eric's been kind of quiet here. Testing camera one. Ooh.
I'm invisible, too.
Let's try making you visible again. There you are.
It's magic.
You got the magic in me.
No,
Is this one frozen?
magic.
No. Not frozen. Okay, good. We're back, folks. Okay. If you're going to make that much noise with the water bottle, I'm going to beat you over the head with it and throw it in the other room.
That was not.
It was me.
Okay. I was just going to yell at him because it's easy to do.
He doesn't even have a water bottle. I do. Oh, he does.
All right, you ready? I guess it would help to arm.
Yeah. Kind of important.
Can we stop talking now? I can't start the track when you're talking.
Sorry, I didn't know you started it.
Are we all done?
Yes.
My children are killing me tonight. Hey folks, welcome back to this episode of the GalaxyCast as we talk about this episode of Star Wars Rebels. This one is titled Secret Cargo. Interesting story, long story. We're looking for cargo, but we're looking for fuel, I believe, correct, at the beginning of the episode. See, that's the part I was so confused about. No. Why were we there? What was the point?
We were trying to help Mon Mothma refuel to get to Dantooine.
Yeah, but we didn't know it was Mon Mothma yet.
You were there waiting for a cargo to arrive.
We were just there waiting for cargo to arrive.
That's
and they had no idea what the cargo was.
Nope.
That's what the part I was so confused about. Again, I kind of feel like we still need those news updates like we had in Star Wars, the Clone Wars, because there are times where I kind of feel like I'm not sure where we are in the storyline or what we're supposed to be doing or what's really truly going on here. And somehow we end up in a midst of some debris, correct? Like, why was there debris floating in space? I guess that's the part I was slightly confused about as well, other than we had a probe droid looking through the debris trying to find out what was there.
Yeah, why? That just seemed too convenient.
What was the point behind the debris? Or what was the debris from, I guess?
I don't know.
Do you guys see why I get confused about these stupid little things? It's like, I know it's such a small point, but at the same time, it's a major point because without the debris, the rest of this whole storyline doesn't make any sense at all.
Or wouldn't have happened.
So right, or wouldn't have happened. So this droid's like trottling around this debris looking for, I don't know what. I'm assuming, is he looking for rebels? I mean, you know, it's some sort of probe droid. And he's searching through this.
It's the droid we saw earlier.
Well, here's the part I find interesting, okay? So, let's say ships dump debris and they take off and they go into hyperspace like they're supposed to do. By the time we get to Han Solo's time, where he latches onto the back of the Star Destroyer and floats away with the rest of debris. Really? Because this seems like an old trick by this point. Because it seems like the Rebels have done this at least a dozen times up until this point, have gotten caught several times, yet Han Solo doesn't get caught.
He did.
In Empire Strikes Back. Well, he did and he didn't. He didn't get caught by the Empire. He got caught by Boba Fett.
Who knew the tricks?
I'm just saying that the Empire, even up till that point, has not figured out that... Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it, again, doesn't play into the whole Star Wars arc to me. At least it doesn't feel like it does. So... the probe droid finds them, and of course now they got to race the probe droid down and to shoot it down before it can communicate their position, because they're afraid that if once it does, then they'll send a whole fleet and it'll be a whole thing.
And of course, it moves fast, so Ezra has problems hitting it.
Here's the part to understand: what's connected to the Ghost?
Fuel
we
canisters.
have these. Are they fuel canisters? Why are they fueling up the ship that's coming?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why they were there. They're waiting for the cargo ship to fuel it up to send it off.
Okay.
That was what they were told. That's all they were told. Then they find out it's Mon Mothma later on.
So this time, it's a very different episode than the other ones. The other ones, they're looking for fuel. This one,
time they
have the
fueling another
fuel and
ship.
they're fueling another ship. Entirely different storyline.
What did they...
So you're getting my humor behind
Yes.
this, right? Okay. Sarcasm at its worst.
Yep.
I mean, and that's the whole thing. And supposedly that weighs the Ghost down. Okay. So you're
It's
in
a
zero.
ship.
You're in 0G space, and your cargo is weighing you down.
I
What?
don't think
No.
Where there's no gravity.
I don't
No,
think
but it does affect thrust. You know, it doesn't
No,
affect how
but,
quickly
like,
you build.
It's a
speed.
ship. You would probably expect it to carry cargo like that, so you'd probably expect it to have more thrust to...
they didn't specify that the ship is being weighed down by the cargo, but that the other ship was faster.
Okay, so good.
TIE fighter.
Okay, hang on. You made my point for me. So the Ghost should have been fast enough to catch up with the other ship, cargo or not, fairly quickly and then throw it down, because compared to every other episode, the Ghost is a very nimble, quick-moving, fast-moving ship. In this episode, it started to look like a frigate trying to move around. It was very lunky and clunky and just did not seem to have the maneuverability that it once had. Really? You throw 2 fuel pods on there and suddenly the Ghost can't move around like it's supposed to? I'm not sure I bought that part of it. So
I buy it quite a bit.
really?
I don't.
I say that it's not.
In space where there's no gravity at all.
Forget space.
But it's called Star Wars.
Forget
that point.
Forget it. All right. Take the P-51s during World War II.
Okay.
They had that extra fuel canister on it to go the extra distance and all that. They couldn't really dogfight.
Yes, they were less maneuverable than the Japanese Zeros. I will give you that.
Well, no, not the Zeros. The German
Or the German Messerschmitts.
right?
Yep.
Okay, so therefore they couldn't dogfight like they should be doing, and that's exactly how they're looking at this right here. They're not looking at it as in space.
Okay.
And stuff.
But that's where I'm like,
And also, not to
I'm
mention,
perplexed. Okay, I guess that's the part I'm perplexed by.
Also,
I thought they would have been able to catch up with it quickly.
Also, not to mention, haven't TIE fighters in the past been able to outmaneuver Rebel fighters because they're just
This
faster?
wasn't a TIE fighter.
It was basically an Imperial
No, it
made.
wasn't.
No, it
No, it wasn't.
wasn't.
It was Imperial made because it's an Imperial probe.
It's not a TIE fighter though.
No, it was a salvage ship, is all it was. It was a droid inside of what was considered to be a salvage ship. Which, looking at the salvage ship, even it looked like a
Square pod.
well, it looked like a pod, right?
Yeah, it looked like an escape pod. to me.
escape pod to me.
No,
I mean,
because
like
it was the pod that the other droid used in the
Exactly.
earlier episodes. So I
Exactly.
don't
And
know
that's
why
an
you
escape
were having
pod.
a problem with it now.
just because. Okay, so the maneuverability is what I'm questioning. That's all. So anyway, of course, the droid holds them off just long enough to send out a message. They destroy the pod. They destroy the droid. I'm assuming the droid gets destroyed. And then they finally meet up with whoever they were sitting there to wait for. And of course, while they're meeting up with them, the Empire shows up. And we find out that Gold Squadron is escorting the ship, the ambassador ship that showed up. Which, okay, now a nice New Hope reference. Gold Squadron is supposed to be a big deal in the rebellion. And, you know, they definitely made it a big deal, you know, that Gold Squadron's here.
Well, let's go back a couple episodes when they got the White Fighters.
Yeah.
All right, what did Battle Organa say? Or what are the...
That they would be the premier ships in their fleet, or something along that lines, right?
They're not going to be going to Phoenix Squadron. They're going to a different squadron for different purposes.
Correct.
So now
we're assuming now that was Gold Squadron, and that was exactly why they grabbed those particular ships. So, yeah, you're right. There's a nice tie-in there. I mean, as far as storyline goes, kind of a cool tie-in. So we meet up, and we find out there's some sort of cargo on the ship, but they won't tell them what the cargo is, or the importance of the cargo, or even potentially who might be on the ship.
And they're not allowed to go on the ship.
They're not allowed to go on the ambassador ship, which is, again, kind of interesting. But, I mean, we kind of got hints early on in the episode who it was going to be, considering they watched the whole holo of Mon Mothma blasting the Emperor. I mean, it was kind of like a, duh, it's going to be Mon Mothma.
Well, what got me is when the pilots and the one rebel trooper came in.
Yeah.
And he introduces himself as being the trooper for Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
That's not too obvious? Yeah. That's why I was like, when they were later surprised that it was Mon Mothma, I'm like, really? Like, I thought all the dots had been connected for you, but okay. I thought it was interesting, too. We don't have the whole Ghost crew again. Did you guys notice that?
Yep.
We have just Zeb, we have Hera, and we have Ezra, and that's it.
Chopper.
So,
well, the only one we're missing is Kanan.
I guess that's true. We're only missing Kanan.
And Rex, who's been part of a lot of episodes.
Rex was actually seen in a clip when we were watching.
Missing that
on and off,
stupid
he's
other
been part
droid.
Well, and I'm not sure he's part of the crew, though. Remember, he's part of the rebellion, but
Yeah.
not necessarily part of the crew. At least that's my
So where was
assumption at this
Kanan
point.
during this
He was
episode?
meditating.
That's kind of what I've been thinking, too. Like,
He was
where-
meditating on back at Chopper Base, just sitting there.
Well, I'm wondering if Bendu and him are having another discussion. You know, who knows
Yeah,
what's
but
going on
Bendu, they
here.
don't know where he is.
They're playing soccer.
They're bending it like Bendu again.
Yep.
So, you know, long story short, we have a broken crew again, but we get a chance to meet Gold Leader. We get a chance to meet some of these crew members. And while we're having a discussion, all of a sudden, blam, here comes the Empire.
I would just like to point out that the possibility that this droid contacted the Imperials was high, but yet they stand there and argue.
Well, and talk for quite some time.
And wait for them basically to come.
Yeah, don't you think it would be smart of the Ghost crew to say to the Gold Squadron people, well, we just dealt with a probe droid, and we think they may be on the way.
They said that.
They did.
did say
But there
that.
didn't seem to be
But
any
they didn't-
angst behind any of it.
Because they needed to refuel the capital ship. Because if they didn't, the capital ship would run out of fuel and they couldn't get to their destination.
I'm just saying, though, like, go to a different location.
Right, like
There's
move.
not enough
And fuel.
Hightail it and
The
move.
ship doesn't have enough fuel to do that.
This is the first time I've ever seen a ship get refueled.
Yeah.
And
This is true in ever
Yeah.
in Star Wars history,
Yeah.
Right.
ever. You're right. I don't think we've ever.
Spaceports.
Spaceports.
Yeah.
In the middle of space.
Space
That's the first time I've ever
shorts.
seen them
Get
get
out of my
refilled.
head. Space pants, space shorts.
That's
where we're
very
at with this
stupid.
episode, people.
Very
So-
stupid.
So as they're fueling up the other ship, of course the Imperials show up, and of course you had to make a big deal that the one Gold crew member got. Did she get knocked out? Like I don't understand
she
what
wasn't-
happened to her.
She got injured in the first blast and wasn't able to
Bang.
fly.
Which of course made a convenient moment for Ezra to fly one of the Y-wings, you know. And of course, all I could think of was like this is like the convenient moment that Anakin gets in a shuttle.
Oh, this whole entire episode
Gets
was
into a Naboo fighter that just happens to go up to a droid control tower that just happens to fly into the middle of it, that just happens to be at the right place at the right time that takes out the
This whole episode
entire
is
control ship.
full of
So
conveniences.
Ezra just happens to be at the right place at the right time to fly a Y-wing. Just happens to be.
Yeah.
So they end up breaking away or trying to break away, and of course they can't. And so now they got to rescue everybody from the ambassador ship, that's what I'm calling it anyway, onto the Ghost, and that's when we discover that the whole time it's Mon Mothma, and now they've got to get away. And so they take off.
Yes.
Leaving the
And
capital ship to get blown up.
Leaving the
just
capital ship to
refuel.
get blown up. They strafe a couple of the ships. They take off. They blew up that Imperial cruiser real easy like.
Well, they didn't
They
blow
had-
it up.
they had an ion cannon
They
to
used an
disable its
ion cannon, to knock out shields and.
Where was
kinda
the ion
paralyze them.
cannon? It was it
the-
on a
the
Y-wing?
mounted
Yeah.
turret gun.
That's an ion cannon? Because the last I knew, an ion cannon was a big old ball with a gun on the end of it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I just said that on live podcast air.
Oh, can I do it?
Doesn't that make the whole ion cannon in Empire Strikes Back kind of a dumb thing? I mean, compared to this little itty bitty
That-
thing the Y-wing has to
that could be
the
considered
big
a-
old ion cannon they had.
That could be a super ion cannon.
Yeah, but they didn't call it a super ion cannon.
What's a super ion cannon?
It's 4 times as powerful as an average ion cannon.
Wow.
The ion cannon that you're talking about was on Hoth?
Yeah.
Well, that was a planetary to space gun.
So you shot a lot farther of a distance.
It had to be a bigger...
You're not shooting something that's, a little bit in front of you. You're shooting through an atmosphere and into space.
But I also feel like it had the same kind
ships.
of power, and I just would think the one that the Y-Wing had would be a little less in power.
Well, they also weren't fighting a Star Destroyer. It was a smaller cruiser.
It was a cruiser. This is true.
And
again, convenient. I'm just saying it's convenient.
It is.
Well, go back to the Clone Wars, though, when they first had the Y-Wings and the ion cannons there.
Yeah.
They're taking out the capital ships of the droids.
They were.
Stuff, so.
Yeah. And they were taking out all the shields and all those ships, too. I know. I just... Like I said, at times, it just seems too convenient, some of these things that they're using.
But hey...
They're just a little too convenient.
If the shoe fits.
It's there, though. The proof is
The
there.
shoe doesn't fit, though.
If the shoe fits, you put it on your head. I know. That's how it works. Yep.
If it makes sense, just go with it.
So they take off. They destroy pretty much half the Imperial fleet that's already there. And now they're trying to get Mon Mothma to the destination she's supposed to go to. And she tells them, she doesn't tell them where, at least not yet, that she needs to get to this place because she's trying to get all of these people together because she's against the Emperor and she needs to unite her people together. Correct. Basically, it's the beginning of the rebellion.
She's uniting all the little rebel cells that are out there.
Right. So this is really the beginning of the rebellion. Yep. This is the part of, to me, Revenge of the Sith that we completely missed. That needed to happen somewhere within Revenge of the Sith.
This is really the beginning of the rebellion. We're 3 seasons in, and we're starting the rebellion.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think you could have had the beginning of the rebellion in the end of Revenge of the Sith, because the Empire was just coming to power. I think they needed to be in power.
You can't rebel against something that doesn't exist yet.
I think they needed to be in power for a little while. Now that they've been in power, I think this is an okay place to do it.
I'm just saying.
Well, in Revenge of the Sith, from the deleted scenes and everything, they have the Senate talking about rebelling against what's going on. Rebelling against what they have right there. So, and they cut that out.
It would have actually set up this whole episode a lot better if they had had that in Revenge of the Sith. The idea that there were seeds of people within the Senate that were not happy with the direction the Emperor was going, and the idea that he was grabbing all this power.
You knew that, though. Like, you did know that. You
didn't. Again, we know it because we've read books and we have other knowledge outside of just the movies.
Yeah.
If you're the average person who's not a big old geek like we are, I'm not sure they would have grabbed onto that information. And again, Revenge of the Sith could have helped clarify that. Anyway, that's neither here nor there because we can't change that now. Revenge of the Sith is what it is, unless Disney decides to do the super ultra, rare awesomeness of Revenge of the Sith.
Well, I was going to say just reboot the entire prequels.
Yeah, don't give them that idea.
No, come on,
Jar Jar goes away.
That's a discussion for another time.
Okay, you're going to go that route, then let's reboot everything,
including A New Hope.
No.
Well, Gary makes a valid point.
Okay,
I'm still waiting for the movie to come out that's called Reboot the Movie, and you see a movie and halfway through all the characters are replaced with other people playing them and the movie finishes with a new cast.
This is an awesome idea. Austin, get right on that.
I actually would be okay with Gary's idea of rebooting the whole entire series because it would be a new start.
No.
Yes.
And the hate mail starts to come.
It's Star Wars is built too much on history and tradition to reboot it.
I agree with you.
It's too much about everything built.
Yep.
They need to somehow get to the new generation.
I'll tell you.
Well, they did with Force Awakens. They rebooted Star Wars because they told the same story a second time.
Okay, debate for another time. Again,
stay on target.
Yeah. So let's continue on with this episode. So they escape. They're gonna go meet Mon Mothma's buddies. They're gonna start the rebellion. Meanwhile, Thrawn and his cronies have gotten together. I'm amazed that Thrawn very quickly figures out that Mothma had to be on that ship. I mean, that's some pretty sweet timing.
He's got other stuff going on that he knows about. They don't have the whole conversation. Think about it. She just did a broadcast. He could be triangulating messages. He could be figuring out areas. He could be making determinations. He's got that map in front of him. I think he's determined. He's zeroing in on her. And so he makes that.
It makes me wonder if he's actually zeroing in even more on the Rebel base than we realize at this point. Like, I think he knows more than we're even seeing.
I think possibly.
And throughout the books, Thrawn has been able to predict his...
Stop.
Books
Stop where you're going.
Start. part of the canon anymore.
The books are no longer canon.
That's right.
There's a new Thrawn book coming out that will be canon.
Yes.
But the point of the matter is Thrawn has
yet.
been seen in Rebels, sitting in front of art and stuff like that, noting that he can actually kind of look into what the past to predict the future.
Correct. And he's been doing that all along.
Ha! That doesn't include the books.
Well, you started off saying, well, in the book, Thrawn was this.
Yeah, and I realized that, so you corrected
So
me.
he schooled me to unschool himself, to reschool himself, to school me.
And then I schooled him.
And then he got schooled. Okay. So we move on to, we've got to get to this planet, but in order to get to the planet, they're going to have to think outside the box, and that's where, and again, Thrawn figures this out, that they're going to have to go through this nebula.
They will travel the most unexpected route to avoid your
whatever blockades. Yeah.
Okay.
So they have to go through this nebula.
You will be waiting for them.
Of course, every time they say a nebula and they have to go through a nebula, all I can ever think of is Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan. I mean, like
there were shots in this that I felt.
I felt like we're like throwbacks. I
think this may have been one of the tribute
you
episodes.
Say nebula, and I think of Guardians of the Galaxy.
I mean, there were even like the overhead shot that they gave. Exactly. I was like, wow, that was almost like a shot for shot.
The Y-wings almost look like the Enterprise.
Thank you.
Yep,
they almost look like the Enterprise, with the tuna cells and everything. Yeah, I was like,
The tuna cells?
Well, not tuna cells. Tuna cells.
There we go. Okay.
There we go. Yeah. They don't smell bad, I promise. Okay. Yeah.
Where did tuna cells come from?
Dad spoke too fast.
The two nacelles. Those are the two little lanky things on the back of the ship.
Where did tuna cells?
I now need to draw a picture of the Enterprise with two of those tuna cans with the twist tops on the back, and just see if anyone gets it and goes, "Oh, it's the tuna cells."
Just draw with a Sturkis.
You know what? Draw that. I'll throw it up on our Facebook feed. People will love it and find it hysterical. So anyway, it did look like a Star Trek ship, and there were moments in this whole series. I mean, come on, it's ironic where they say, "If don't shoot the photon torpedoes, you'll blow up the whole." I mean, that was almost again. Everybody knew if you go into the nebula, your photon torpedoes are now useless. They won't do anything.
Right.
And you don't want to blow up the air around it because it's flammable. I mean, it was like I said, almost verbatim Star Trek.
And you knew that was going to now be massive foreshadowing to what was going to save them at the end.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, like, again, predictable. It got predictable to a point.
To a point.
So the Ghost enters in the nebula with Gold Squadron, and of course they get found out by TIE Defenders. Now, I was glad they brought the TIE Defenders in. That was kind of a cool little twist, because we know from previous episodes the TIE Defenders have amazing defenses, great weaponry, good tactical skills. These are some of the best pilots, too. And of course, there's quite the little battle between Gold Squadron and them.
They lose more down. They're down to just 2.
Right. They even lose a pilot, and they're
that pilot was quite heroic. She went in front of the shot and saved
the Ghost.
And saved the Ghost, which was a nice moment.
That was a nice moment.
Hero's sacrifice.
And we have quite the little battle, and the Ghost gets.
They get away at first by diving really close to the edge of one of the birthing stars.
The Ghost gets injured because it dives in towards.
And I almost could feel the heat in those shots. They did a good job with the visuals in terms of really carrying across the heat
and seeing the heat come across the shield of the ship. That was actually there's some good drawing in this, and the colorization here was very good. It was kind of cool.
Took out 2 TIE interceptors.
Yep, they took out 2 TIE interceptors just by basically
burning them out,
melting them down,
and then basically blowing them off target.
I feel bad for those TIE fighters are in this. What shot did they have?
The one tried to get away, Zeb shot it, and it fell into the center.
Yeah. So then they're injured, and of course the Ghost has to go out of the nebula because it's injured, and the 2 Gold Squadron members are still fighting TIE Defenders inside of the whole thing.
A TIE Defender.
And as of course they get out of the nebula, and we almost knew this was going to happen.
Well, Thrawn said they were going to be waiting on the other side.
Yeah, they predict, and so they are. They show up, out of the middle of nowhere,
and then of course Zeb has to say, "Here, we have a problem." Actually, 2 of them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, a little sarcastic.
So that's when they start, for the first time ever in a long time, they use a tractor beam to start pulling the Ghost in towards one of the ships. And meanwhile, Ezra and the Gold Leader are trying to fight off the TIE Defenders. And long story short, they end up winning, and they come out of the nebula, and they have to figure out how to get the Ghost free of the tractor beam.
They come out and they're kind of behind the 2 Star Destroyers.
Right.
So they arm their ion cannons and prep the proton torpedoes. and Hera thinks.
You're gonna be all editing here.
Yeah, let's try that part again. So they arm the proton torpedoes and aim them. Are they proton or photon? I never remember.
See, it's all one Star Trek and one Star Wars.
Trek and one Star Wars. I can never
Proton is
remember.
Star Wars. It is used with the.
So either way,
yes, I
torpedoes.
Photon torpedoes are
Star Trek. Okay, so the proton torpedoes get aimed at the nebula, as Harris suggests, because again, it's flammable.
Yes,
it blows it up. It basically ejects fire across the deck of both Star Destroyers. And that frees the Ghost.
And that was some nice visuals there, too.
Yeah, there were some cool visuals.
It felt pretty epic, the way it hit the sides of the ships.
And then, of course, they're able to take off into space and hyperlink out of there. Hyperventilate out of there.
Make the jump.
We don't know what happens to the Star Destroyers, do we?
I assume that they're crippled but go on.
But it's still going, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, Governor Price is leading all this, so yet again,
she's got to survive.
Walk away. I'm sure
she's got to walk away. Although Thrawn won't be happy.
Of course not. Meanwhile, they go back to this base, and Mon Mothma makes her little announcement about wanting to start the rebellion.
Yeah. Why were they just above the planet instead of on it?
That's the part that perplexes me.
That was the meeting point.
Why did the ships have to all come there? Why couldn't they, I don't know, communicate back with her, sending an encrypted message?
Wouldn't have been as epic of a scene.
This is true.
This is Mon Mothma. We are all going to work together. Email me at monmothma.rebellion.com if you're interested. Thank you.
That would work for me. Yeah. And all of a sudden, her whole Gmail account gets shut down because she gets so many emails. Of course, why not?
She's like, oh, this one wants to. It's a Nigerian prince. He wants to give a lot of money to our rebellion. I think I should write back to him.
All I got to do is provide him $8 million first.
but it's the wrong email address.
Right.
All right, it was monmothma at CompuServe.
Oh, CompuServe. Yeah.
No, but I was saying, why not go down to the planet, set up a miniature base, and have a.
Well, I think they do. That's Dantooine.
Right, that's Dantooine. Remember, that's the beginning of the rebellion.
It's the beginning of the rebellion because we found
that's where the base is found for episode 4.
Yeah,
correct.
But I'm saying, why are we up in the space transmitting the signal?
Because there's no base made on Dantooine yet.
Right.
They're choosing this planet. And they're all going to meet there, and they're all going to work together.
It hasn't started yet. Remember, it's the beginning.
But I was thinking, why not just land on the planet and transmit from
the other reason I say I'm worried about all the ships doing what they did is, like, don't they make it obvious for the Empire to be like, I wonder where all the ships went. Oh, look, they're on Dantooine. Yeah. Maybe that's where they're at. You know, like, it just makes it a little...
Let's start a bombing range.
I mean, it's a cool visual and all. I'm just not sure that's...
The thing was, I actually liked it because of the visual. I felt that the ending shot of that was kind of a little... choke you up moment of, hey, I know those ships. That's the ships.
Well, I was kind of excited to see the Hammerhead versions that we saw in Rogue One show up, as well as the Tantive 4s. And
they had the stuff. They had the stuff from End of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi.
You know, or Empire, End of Empire and stuff. And then they had, even if you noticed,
the medical frigate showed
the flying garage thing that they captured
yeah.
from back like last season. I think it was whatever.
The carrier.
The carrier showed up. That was there. So I'm like, that's a nice touch.
Yeah. I kind of like the fact the ships were there. I just. Like I said, just kind of, it felt awkward, but it was cool all at the same time.
I think it was sacrificing a little realism for sake of an epic moment.
Probably.
Yeah, but you know what I would have loved for the ending, just to close it out, was to be like the ending out of Star Wars, where the John Williams music ends the episode.
What would have been cool is just have a response to her of like, we're with you, we're with you, we're with you, we're with you, and then just have like a captain of each ship. Just saying we're with you.
That's too much Doctor Who-ish.
I don't... Doctor Who-ish? Where'd that come from?
The episode when they had all the doctors all
standing there. Yeah, the War Doctor.
Oh, yeah.
The day of the
Are you kidding me? They ripped off the entire Wrath of Khan. Why not rip off a little Doctor Who while you're
I didn't know...
Because it's the only rip-off Star Wars.
There should have been a TARDIS. There should have been a TARDIS that showed up.
And then spun and then disappeared. You know, and a DeLorean. Sure, why not?
Yeah, a DeLorean.
Yeah, just have it pass right through the middle.
Or then have the car.
Yeah.
They want to see the rebellion. Roll them up.
Okay, so what was your favorite parts of this episode? What do you guys think? What was your favorite part of this?
I liked the performance of Mon Mothma. And was it the actress who played her in Rogue One?
I'm pretty sure it was
doing
her.
The voice.
Yeah.
So that was nice to carry that over. Overall, I think my favorite part of the episode was the finishing of it. That seeing her do the broadcast, seeing shots of places that we've seen before, a lot of those shots, and they're all picking up on the message and kind of seeing the connection of finally we have a rebellion. You know, they've been talking about this, and let's go get some power cells. We need more fuel. Maybe we should steal some ships. And now finally we have a rebellion. Can we stop all those other things now and focus on
an actual rebellion?
An actual rebellion and other storylines, which apparently we're going to from the look of the next episodes.
Awesome. What'd you think? What was your favorite part?
I actually like the dogfight scenes in the Nebula.
Okay.
I was very much a fan of the idea of how the dogfights worked in the Nebula, and the fact that one ship sacrificed it to protect the cargo ship.
Okay.
Very much like World War II dogfighting. They would sacrifice themselves for the carrier
for the bombers.
For the big bombers to get them to what they need to do. And also the fact that they drove themselves straight into the sun and decided to almost burn the ships up alive to take 2 out with them.
Okay. Tara, what was your favorite part?
Well, you're going to hate me. I fell asleep. So there was no favorite part for me, obviously. Because I didn't see all of this
My favorite part was when Justin Timberlake showed up with flowers for me.
Justin Timberlake!
Wait. No. I know what her favorite part was. It was the Trolls commercial.
Oh, yes.
And Jedi Killer Dillian.
Yes. Gary, what was your favorite part?
Oh, the probe droid, of course.
Probe droid? Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
You like that?
Seriously?
Yeah,
You like that part?
Yeah, actually,
I like the throwback to a couple episodes ago.
I like the probe droid. I think he's
did
cool,
like the droid.
but
I just don't think he fit into the episode.
he was fine.
I think it was just, as Gary said, a token moment from a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
My favorite part.
Hey, they introduced a character a couple episodes ago, and we're always complaining that they never bring him back.
So there you go.
So here we go. Yeah, we brought him
So
back.
does that mean
There's no doubt.
if Jay and Silent Bob show up in one of these episodes, that's a token moment?
Yeah, I would give it as a token moment. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So for me, my favorite part of this episode, actually, let me try that again.
Sorry.
So my favorite part of the episode, actually, is
That wasn't
for
helping,
the
Tara.
third time. Wow, there's going to be a lot of editing and some hurting going on later. My favorite part of this particular episode was actually the part that I think a lot of people probably wouldn't think is a big deal, but the fact that Mon Mothma gave the speech that she gave towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the speech to start.
It was
the
good,
rebellion.
yeah.
It was a good, well thought out speech. For once, it's the storyline that made me buy into this episode. That the one thing that kind of made me go, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Well, I actually liked the other speech that she made first.
The one about the Emperor against the Emperor. Both of them I thought were equally weighted. You know what I mean? And I like the speech at the end only because it's like you get to watch the beginning of the rebellion for the first time. You know what I mean? And what the weight that had. You know.
That's true, but just calling out the Emperor right from the get-go.
Oh sure, yeah.
Gives her more strength for Return of the Jedi.
Calling out the Emperor at the beginning took Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Spaceballs!
I can't wait till that movie comes out.
Not only did I like that, but when she said I'm stepping down as a senator to become your leader, I was like, that almost got a tear out of me because I was like, okay, this is cool. You know, like that's why
I am giving up the Senate health care plan to become your leader, and that is a sacrifice.
Okay, so let's rate this episode since we've given our favorite parts, because I know when we rate, we usually give the parts we don't like. So anybody want to volunteer to go first on rating this one? 0 being a don't bother, 10 being a must-see. Go ahead, Austin. Throw it out there.
I'm going to give it a solid 6.
Okay.
There are some really dull moments and really moments that don't make sense and all the science that you could bring up. But I do
They
like
also don't make science. That's true. Yes.
But I also think that this episode wasn't bad, that it should be less than 5.
Okay.
And I gave it a 6 because the dogfights and the speech scenes, I thought those were like phenomenal.
Okay. Tara McSleepy Sleeperton, what would you give this episode?
Okay, based off of what I saw,
5 Z's.
I'd give it a 1 based off of what I saw.
Which is not much, by the way.
It was enough to make me fall asleep. I'm just going to say that right now. Obviously, the pacing was very
Says a girl
off
who's
and
been
very slow.
at school every night until about 9
Shut
o'clock
up,
this week.
shut
Just
up,
pointing that
shut
out,
up.
people. Yeah. Gary, what would you rate this episode?
A 5.
A 5?
Ooh.
I felt it was really rushed.
Yeah.
Too
For
many,
something so important.
right? Too many cliches of stuff that didn't really have to happen. The whole Nebula episode there.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, they expect them to do that.
Right.
Why do it then?
Right. Why? I know. I get what you're
They
saying.
expect us to go through the nebula, so we won't go through the nebula.
Because that's what they expect, but we won't do what they expect.
They expect that we won't go through the nebula because they expect we will go through the nebula. So we will go through the nebula, so they expect that we won't go through the nebula.
It sounds like it's right out of Princess Bride.
Thank you. I was just about to say.
It's just
you put the poison in your drink, but you would think it would be in mine.
I think it was very clearly done to tribute to Star Trek, and it didn't quite fit in with the rest of the episode.
It just was too convenient for me. And
inconceivable.
These prototype ships that are you never see them until the Return of the Jedi.
Right.
I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I've had a problem with that right from the get-go.
Yeah. Well, and I have a problem with, the TIE Defender. We never see it in the films.
No.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
And yet, here they are.
They're going to have to, like the last episode, be something like, the
TIE
Empire's just
destroyed.
done a recall on all of the TIE Defenders.
There were bad seatbelts and airbags on all of them.
A bad gas tank.
And they had some problems of self-destruction by accident.
What I'd like to see in a future episode of Rebels with the TIE Defender is to see it get destroyed.
Yeah. For good.
That they basically
because if you even in this episode, they do make a point of he'll be back because they only knocked it out temporarily with the proton torpedo.
Right.
Destroy it.
Yeah, in canon actually.
And then that'll explain why you never see another one until.
Oh, I think
whenever.
An episode would be good to find out that they found the factory building defenders and they just bomb it to hell.
Or to heck.
To heck, sorry.
They wipe it out.
All of it. So
wipe them out.
I ironically am going to give it the same as Gary, a 5. I'm in the same boat, and I'll tell you why. For me, the main ding here, they reaped way too much from Star Trek 2. And I don't know if that was a decision by Dave Filoni, because we all know he's a huge Star Trek fan.
Ew.
And it was too obvious. It was too obvious, number one. Number two, the storyline just kind of sucked. I mean, it could have been so much better. For something that was so important, which is the beginning of the rebellion, to not give that enough weight and then reap information from a Star Trek movie that everybody could see, it just was too obvious of it, like almost a Star Trek Star Wars crossover.
You
almost.
say that, and then you get a bunch of kids who watch this who've never seen Star Trek 2.
And that's a possibility, and I get what you're saying,
I've seen
but
Star Trek too.
Come on, we all know the people watching Rebels are the true Star Wars fans, the ones that want to love Star Wars, and yet
they don't like Trekkies.
And yet here we are, where we're kind of reaping that out. Eric, what would you rate this one?
I'm also going to give it a 6.
Okay.
As I always come down to, it's how important is it in the overall storyline? Well, it's very important in the overall storyline. It is the birth of the rebellion.
Absolutely.
For that moment alone, that's where most of the points are going. In terms of the aerial combat, there was nothing spectacular. Not like I remember that one episode we saw a while back where we all were just like, "Who the heck filmed those?"
They changed the camera angles and rotated, flew through
the floating space station and everything. I mean, it was like really well done. And for this, which was an episode completely about space combat, all the way from beginning to end, you'd think there would have been more care taken to do some cool things with that, and there wasn't. It was just a lot of flying around,
stationary shots.
Yeah, a lot of just circling each other and shooting, and
like you wanted the cinematic shots where it's like
it needed it. It needed it, and they tried to with the Nebula a little bit, but like you said, it was by then too little, too late, and also too much of a Star Trek homage. So most of that takes points off, but because the rebellion was so important to that part of it, and I liked everything about Mon Mothma. She was great in the episode. I thought it was good. Well done. I would have, like I said, I'm just a little above halfway, so I'll give it a 6.
Do you guys think that without this episode, the next seasons of Star Wars Rebels really couldn't be as important as they're about to become, which I think they are now going to become important? Do you think this episode sets everything up for the next seasons now?
Yeah, I think it kind of...
I mean, I know we're all kind of dinging this episode, but the reality is, without it, there's no rebellion.
Right. That's why I gave it a 6. It's all for that reason.
We hope that's going to do it.
Yeah.
All we can do is hope on that, but
it's a new hope.
But unfortunately, the Disney Empire will strike back.
They could have started the rebellion in a different way.
Because at some point there will be a return of the Jedi.
Yes, they always do come back.
Yeah.
How many Star Wars references can we put in one episode?
But just remember, the Force has to awaken sometime.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Because we're still worried about the Revenge of the Sith. Yeah.
And we're waiting for that one last Jedi.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Damn it, we couldn't get Attack of the Clones in or Phantom Menace.
I'm done.
I was heading there. I was about to do it.
But go ahead.
But it's going to be a Phantom Menace, though.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Garrick.
What?
Attack of the Clones. You said you had it.
Oh, okay.
Go.
I'll just say Attack of the Clones. You're taking it all away from me now.
Okay, Tara, come back in here and tell us what you're going to tell. We got on a roll. Sorry.
Okay, so I think they could have done the beginning of the rebellion in a different, more epic way than they did.
Okay.
This episode.
I
Because
agree.
I feel like they could have started it off in the next episode with her podcast,
Podcasting. She's podcasting. This is the Rebellion Podcast. I'm your host, Mon Mothma. This week we'll do some movie reviews. We'll talk a little about the newest Deadpool trailer, and then we'll be on to creating the important rebellion to take out the Emperor. But first, a word from our sponsor,
the GalaxyCast.
I meant to say
and John's Death Sticks.
I meant to say hologram. And I said podcasting, okay?
And also,
I'm really tired right now.
And the shutter points.
I meant to say hologram, okay? I'm sorry. I'm really tired right now. It's not obvious.
Okay, so that's what we thought of this episode of Star Wars Rebels. Head on over to GalaxyCast.com. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about everything we talked about. At the
Go to our
beginning of this
Facebook page and comment
Check
away.
out our Facebook page. Check out our YouTube channel, folks. Yes, we actually have a YouTube channel. Just hit GalaxyCast.
Because the
All
first,
one
what
word
you
on
want to
YouTube.
see
Just
is
search.
an hour of us sitting in front of these
I'm
computer
sure you
screens.
would love it.
It's awesome.
It's a lot of fun. Come on. And we have great artwork for you to look
We
at.
do, actually, yeah.
So head on over there to GalaxyCast on the YouTube channel. Let us and take a look at us and let us know what you think.
Look at the
That's right,
back
take a
of
look
my
at us.
head.
Take a look at us.
Look at that back of that head right there.
So
Is that space for rent?
yes.
Right here, I could put your logo. Can be right on the back of my head.
So with all of that in mind, as we like to say here in the Star Production Studios, may the Force be with those who listen.
To Dillian.
There we go. And we had our Dillian reference too, so that's awesome.
I think we've had 5 of them.
And I'll start up our video broadcast.
Bye.
Bye, folks in Videoland. Have a good night.